We are live. Hey everyone, welcome to the QuaranCon 2021 closing ceremony. Calling it a ceremony seems a bit pompous. I'm not really planning on doing anything ceremonial, but Pam and I are here and we're going to chat with y'all a little bit. We've got a lot of thank yous to say, and we just want to do that. Basically, we just want to take some time to thank everyone for being here. If you're in the live chat, feel free to say hi. We'd love to say hi to you. We would love to thank everyone who's been such an amazing participant in all of the chats. We've had such great interaction this year, really like leaps and bounds ahead of even what we got last year, which was already very exciting for us. So it's just so lovely to have you all here. So hop on in and say hi if you like. And we're gonna talk wrapping up the con, which just seems amazing. Like I feel like, time hasn't had much meaning since March of last year, but
it's not still March last year,
right? But it feels like, it like over the course of the last 5 days it's had even less meaning. I think when we wrapped up day one, we got done and I was like, okay, well, phew, that's the second day of the con done. And then I blinked for a second. I was like, oh no, wait, that was just one day. but like right now I'm like, wait, what do you mean the con's over? We just started. So again, just, time has no meaning at all. Yeah, it's been so lovely. I don't even know, like I wanted to do a highlight reel, but I don't even know how you choose. There were so many amazing moments and panels in it throughout the con. I can't even begin to choose. Pam, what was like? You got anything that you want
to? I loved some of the readings, like Jessa Forrest's reading, and I loved that. I was chatting to her about it afterwards, and she sort of like described it to me as, the film The Craft. It was meaner, more annoying kids, and I kind of thought that's an amazing comp, and I really liked that reading. There was loads of brilliant readings. Yeah, that people did. I really
Yours was excellent. I loved it.
Thank you. Yours as well, of course. To the point where actually that's one of the few things I actually went back and watched again.
Oh,
so there's a few things that I missed bits of, and my internet at the beginning of the con was being a total asshole. So I missed wee bits, and there was things that I was like, oh, that sounded really good, and I'll need to kind of go back and review. I really enjoyed David Green's world building.
Oh yeah.
Was good, and I thought there's been brilliant stuff, but the existing mythologies.
Oh yeah.
Panel again, I missed wee bits of that because I was running around doing things in the background, but bits, I caught most of it, and I just thought that was some really interesting stuff that I didn't know anything about either, because we all have our ones that are more in tune with your own country, like Celtic mythology is something that I know quite a lot about, and things, because that's the background here and whatnot. Like the Sumerian stuff and sort of more Eastern European. I thought, oh, that's fantastic. So I loved that. But yeah, loads of brilliant stuff. Food and Fantasy was good.
Yeah. The Food and Fantasy was great. I was actually eating dinner during that, and I only caught parts of it because I was also entertaining a child. But I also loved the audiobooks production one. I don't know if you saw that. That was amazing.
I didn't catch that. That was a really late one for me, and I was absolutely pooped. So
yeah. Well, check out the replay on that. I adored that. I don't know if you've read The Bone Shard Daughter, but Andrea Stewart jumped in on that for just a minute, and then
I saw that she came on.
The cast read out. So 3 of those actors had already done the audiobook for The Bone Shard Daughter, and then everyone who was there, that aside from the moderator, all read a portion of the book, and that was amazing to watch live. And they did a fabulous job, and also just all the actors involved in that were amazing. I really loved that. And I also loved, I loved the world building panel today, and the Asian author roundtable today. Like so many great things, but we've had that every day. Like that's just the stuff that's like most recent and like foremost in my mind. But like every single panel we had has been great for something.
It definitely has, and I caught most of the SFF world building today, and I thought in particular like Evan and and Intizar, made just some of the stuff they were talking about. I was just like, wow, things that just blew my mind, and that was really good.
Yeah, there were so many amazing points made in that world building panel, and I
feel like I want to go back with a notepad.
I want to do that for a number of panels.
Yeah.
There's so many things that would be fun for. And I will probably, like, the beauty of this con for me is that, because of time zones and stuff, we can't make everything. And especially like you and I are constantly running around fixing things or putting out fires.
Yes.
And so we miss a lot of stuff. But I love that it's all up there to catch. I will make a special note though, for anyone who's interested in the Character 101 workshop or the Pitch Perfect workshop. Both of those are only up temporarily. Both of those were donated by their leaders, who usually use those as an income stream. So you get a brief free access to those, which we're very excited to be able to provide.
Yeah, it was very generous.
Yeah, very generous of those authors to do that for us. But basically tomorrow, the Character 101 workshop will go down. Amanda Cherry's Pitch Perfect workshop, she's agreed to leave up for 2 weeks. So you have 2 weeks to get to that one, but only one more day to get to Darian's Character Psychology 101 workshop. So, and Darian's an actual psychologist, so that's really, really cool. And please make use of that amazing resource while you've got it. But that's going to come down tomorrow, midnight my time, I think. So make sure you check those out because they're only up for a limited time. I believe everything else that we have put on will be up indefinitely. So so make sure that you check out all our stuff and that you can go back to it over and over again. And I do love that. We're getting a bunch of free content up for ages. And I know it'll take you at least 5 days to get through it. So I suppose if you binged it, you could do it in less because we did take breaks to sleep and whatnot, but
maybe you did.
Well, I tried. I slept some. I worry about you, Pam, not sleeping enough.
Oh, I know. It's this is why we have dark lighting. So you can't see like 2 bags, or I'm just gonna kind of like try and prise them open so you can't see.
But I will say that no, actually I won't say because I have no idea what point I was about to make. My brain just ran away on me. I guess I'll just stick to my notes because apparently my memory is already failing me. So I do want to talk briefly about, I guess before we go anywhere else, y'all did the contest winners announcement earlier, you and Amanda. That was hilarious and awesome. But we had
somewhat manic, I'm afraid, sorry.
It's all right. The goats were well worth the wait, I have to say.
Yeah, they tore that thing to shreds.
They sure did.
It's like...
It was amazing. That was totally worth it. If anyone watching at home didn't see that yet, please go back, do yourself a favor, and watch the announcements, the contest announcements video from earlier today. Just literally goats eating the best worst line. It's hilarious.
And I'd like to say that it was actually Amanda that donated that. She did that personally.
Thank you, Amanda.
That I thought it was her kind of part of her contribution to the con. So she organised that and she paid for it. So a thank you to her, because for me it was a total highlight. I was just like, there are goats eating the best first line. It was surreal, but a big thank you to Amanda AM Justice for donating that. That was kind.
That was very kind. Thank you so much, Amanda. That was hilarious. Sorry, I'm just composing a tweet right now to tell people to come watch.
It's like, yeah, we heard you. What? I can do that if you want to keep talking.
That's probably a good idea, but it's too late. I've already done it.
Okay. Thingy that then.
But the follow-up to that was that we also ran a cosplay contest, and I won't lie, we got very, very few entries. That's largely my fault. I did not sufficiently publicize the cosplay contest, which is too bad because I love cosplay. It's one of my favorite things about when I go to in-person cons. I absolutely adore watching cosplay happen around me. I am a very inexperienced cosplayer myself, so really I don't often dress up outside of Halloween. But
I did not know where you were going with that there.
Were you expecting that to get racy?
Sorry. Just the way you were like, look.
Amazing. I love that that's very well. Then I feel very, very happy with the twist that I threw in the end there, where you were really expecting it to go a different way.
It was even the delay that you made. It was like,
I was just trying to remember the word for the
okay, I thought it was like you were a dramatic pause.
This is, at this point, if I do anything that seems like a dramatic pause, it's probably my brain going, vocabulary access, please hold. So yeah, but yeah, so I don't really dress up much outside of Halloween, but cosplay is amazing, and I love looking at it. I love seeing people walk by in it, and I will stop people at cons as I'm sitting at my table selling my books. I will wave them down and say, hey, that's so cool, did you make that, did you buy it, if you made it, how did you make it? Because I love hearing about it. It's so cool. And so I do want to highlight a couple of the cosplay entries that we received. We don't really have a winner because we really only had 2 people enter, with luckily 4 different outfits. So one person entered 3 outfits and one person entered 1. And I am going to draw those up here on the computer to share my screen with you so that y'all can watch them. And I really should have gotten them up earlier, but I didn't. So here we go. But our judge, Jay Justice, did look at them and told me which ones she thought I should highlight based off of her huge amount of experience with cosplay. So if y'all don't know, Jay Justice is very big deal in the cosplay world, and she does amazing cosplay herself. She was our judge last year as well. And this year she basically just gave me feedback to say, hey, highlight these 2. So I'm about to highlight the 2 outfits the 2 cosplays that that Jay suggested that I so I just am getting them open. So
sorry, no, I have a cat clawing my leg, which is why I keep looking down.
Always fun. Oh, I should download these so I don't wind up sharing personal information. Sorry. So Pam, can you distract people for a second while I find the right pictures?
Everybody look. Ooh, puss. Eli, you gonna say hi? No, he's not cooperating. There you go. Everybody just look at the cat. Look at the cat. Don't look at anything. Say, trust in me. Just in me.
Oh, that's a good one. I haven't heard that.
Your eyes, go to sleep. Is anybody hypnotized?
I hope so. I am. Okay, I am now ready to share some things. So here we go. Highlighting a Hobbit cosplay. I just want to share. I don't want to. There we go. First. So this was entered by Greg Ryerson, and Jay Justice wanted to highlight it in particular because not a lot of people do Hobbit cosplay, and she thought it was well done. I'm looking at it myself. It looks like a lot of that's hand sewn.
Yeah, I like the fact it's a little leaf brooch as well. That's great,
right? Yeah, it's big details.
Lovely touch. It's sort of a Lothlorien sort of symbol, isn't it?
Yeah. They have those in, at least in the movies, and presumably I honestly don't even remember. It's been so long since I've read the books. I don't remember.
It's been a while for me. I think 20 years maybe.
And the next one to also highlight is this X-Men. Oh, geez, there we go. Pixie Strikes Back, which is awesome, and that looks like. I can't even tell how that's made. That looks like a skin tight spandex suit. And there are various ways to acquire those. Some of them are homemade and some of them are purchased. And I don't know which that is, but I love the pixie wings and everything about it. But again, Jay Justice suggested highlighting that because again, it's an infrequent cosplay, and she thought to deliver props for that. So thank you so much to Elizabeth and was it Ryan? no, George Ryerson. Greg, geez, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Okay, so Greg and Elizabeth, thank you all so much for your entries. And we will be sending you some books from the book bundle because you're awesome. And you had the gumption to put your cosplay on display with us when almost no one else did, or actually when no one else did. Y'all were literally the only people who did. So
yeah, big shout out.
So yeah, massive shout out to you two for doing that, and apologies for me for not publicizing the cosplay contest better to get us even more great entries. But those were fabulous, and we really appreciate them. So thank you so much for doing that, Elizabeth and Greg. So that is it. And then a big thank you to Jay Justice for taking the time. She offered to be a judge last year and this year both. And this year we sort of very last minute, we're like, oh, we only have these 2 entries. We tried to get more, but and then she very kindly provided feedback so that we could highlight those particular works. So thank you so much, Jay, for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jay.
That covers the cosplay contest. Okay. Check. Sorry, my memory doesn't work, and I have a list, and that is the only way that we will get through this. So a question that many people ask, have asked over the course of the weekend. And
42.
And generally, yes. I don't know if it's appropriate for this, but the question is, QuaranCon, will you be back? And the answer is yeah. We're not entirely sure how we're going to do it. Obviously, we hope desperately that there will be no Quaran-related anything next year.
Yes.
However, I have decided, I was talking to one of the earlier panels about this, I'm going to try to come up with a clever acronym for QUARAN that has something to do with being accessible. Come on,
Q
Pam,
is a tough one.
You can do it. Oh, but it'll be great. Don't even worry. Quality, quantity. we got quality, unreal acts of, I don't even know. Okay, but we'll come up with something. And it'll be amazing because I don't think we should rebrand because that's a pain in the butt. But we'll change things up so that Quaran doesn't mean being stuck at home. However, we do we love the community that we've built here. We love the accessibility of this convention for folks who cannot get to conventions normally, even when there's not a pandemic on. Or just get to each other's conventions, right? Like there's so many amazing people from all over the world at QuaranCon. We love that. We want more of that. We want to take that one step further, metaphorical, every year, and really build on that. So we would like to come back and sort of do that part even more because it's all about the community. Pam, did you want to?
One of the things that ML Wong said, I think, on the Asian Author Roundtable was, I think what was I think it was on that, was sort of saying that what was good for one of us, was it on that panel? I think it was, what was good for one person in ND was kind of good for the whole, in terms of building it up. It might have been when I was chatting to her earlier. Pretty sure she said it, I just can't remember when, sorry.
Fair enough, you've attributed it to the right person, just not entirely sure.
Yeah, just not perhaps the right time. In terms of, especially a lot of people who've been involved in this are indie authors, and we've had our trad authors as well, but what lifts one of us up lifts all of us up. In terms of how indie is viewed and sort of gaining that respect as it's increasingly doing. And if we can do that across continents, across the world, then that's a massive thing. The reality of me being able to go to a con, probably Virginia, that you're at in real life is probably quite slim. I mean, I do hope we get to meet in person someday at some point, fingers crossed. But going to the same con is just something that we couldn't probably hope for, realistically. And there've been so many lovely people that I was chatting to the other night, and I think that's something that we couldn't do any other way, and that's been a huge thing. And I think a lot of people have said, I would never have talked to that person at a con if it wasn't for this,
right?
And it's just about community and relationships, which I think as isolated as writers can be, regardless of a pandemic.
Right.
That's something that's really important to me. And if it hadn't been for QuaranCon last year, I still think there'd be people I would be like, oh, I love what they're saying on Twitter. I love their books, and but I don't know how to approach that. I don't know if I could just kind of be like, I don't want to fangirl on Twitter because that's just cringe. If it's a total unknown person, like, I love you. It's, you don't know whether it's creepy or not. And this has given, me and other people opportunities just to connect, which is invaluable.
It's huge. Yeah. And really, that's my favorite part of cons, period. Just talking to other people who love, and not just other authors, but readers and just and artists. Like I would never. I know a bunch of visual artists now. Most of whom are from like in-person cons that I've gone to, and they've had tables next to mine, whose work I love. But it's so different from the fantasy, just like the fantasy author world. Like those two worlds, they should be hanging out all the time. And I think there are some places where they are, but but they're not all the time. And so like the in-person cons I've gone to and met more artists have been amazing. And then last year, the amazing artists we had do demos, and I'm so sad. I tried to make that happen again this year, and I somehow just failed at getting that form in front of the right people. We had no one sign up to do artist demos. Yeah. But fair enough. It's also that like a lot of people are back to work now and don't have time. Yeah. So but those pieces are all great, and just the way we build this community. And it's not just indie authors, I mean, we have a ton of trad authors in this con, for considering like that the original circle of my Twitter sphere was pretty much all indie authors. And then even last year when we started the con, it was like, oh my gosh, look at these, like we have some big name trad authors that just showed up. That's awesome. And then we got more of them this year, and it's just like, this is amazing. And I love that too, because I don't like that there's sometimes a divide between indie and trad. I feel like we are all doing the same slog with slightly different pieces involved depending on how we're publishing, but really like the telling of the stories, the passion behind them, I feel like that's all coming from the same place. And I love that we're mixing it up, And I think a lot of the cons that happen don't mix trad and indie very much. There are indie cons and there are trad cons, and I like that we're both. I love that.
Yeah. I think it's just our message has always come from a place of inclusion, regardless of, gender or color or, trad or indie or whatever, and we wanted it to be somewhere that everybody could come together. And that means, I think, that providing you're not doing any hate speech or being an unpleasant douche, then, there's a space for you at QuaranCon, and I think that has come through. And that includes things like trad, indie. There's not going to be like, none of that here, thank you.
No, that's right. We've got, we had a lot of panels that had a mix of trad and indie authors, and also just people
at small presses this year as well.
Absolutely. And then different places in people's careers, right? Like, we had debuts, we had people who are on their 20th book, and everyone in between, and unpublished authors too. And I love that. I love all of that. I want more of that. And I do think that is the thing, that amount of mixing of different publishing backgrounds is lacking in-person conventions, right? Because most in-person conventions are they're either drawing people in with big names, or they're so small that they can't draw any big names, and so they just have their local authors, which is also great. And all those things are wonderful. But I love that we've got this amazing mix that you don't see very often.
Definitely.
So
and the assumption, of course, would be that, that somebody on their 20th book versus somebody on their debut, they may still have amazing tips to share.
Yeah.
Perhaps they haven't made it to that 20th book yet, but they could still have an absolute gem that resonated with somebody about how they build a character or their experience of social media or whatever it might be. And I picked up lovely little pieces from so many different people at so many different stages in their career. And that was something that stood out to me a lot. So I would entirely agree.
Yeah, I love that. And I think we had some really great conversations because of those differences and having people in a single panel that represented all those publishing stages. So yeah, anyway, more of that. So if for those who are wondering, yes, QuaranCon will be back in some way next year. Don't know dates, don't know exactly what format. We have some ideas about how we will do things in a way that will be cause fewer gray hairs for Pam and I. So we've got some plans. But yeah, we will come back. So to that end, thank you so much to the 111 panelists, moderators, and readers and workshop leaders who participated in QuaranCon this year. You all are amazing, and we absolutely would not have a convention without you.
No, definitely not.
Everyone is always thanking the volunteers, which I absolutely appreciate so much, but also we could volunteer all we want, but if we don't get 111 awesome folks who are like, oh yeah, I'll be on those panels, I'll moderate those panels, I'll run those workshops, I'll do a reading. If we don't have those people, we have no show. So thank you so much, everyone, for contributing your time. We know that your time is valuable. We know that people are going back to work. So even this year, more so even than last year, people, have other places to be and still chose to spend time with us. We appreciate the hell out of that. So thank you all so much for participating. And thank you so much to everyone who came and watched, of which the number is uncounted. I do not know how many people viewed the whole show. I can look at the YouTube stats, but even those only give me a vague idea. Some number in the hundreds of people came to see the con over the course of the weekend.
Amazing.
And thank you so much. Again, actually, we could put on a show with no one watching, but the energy would be a lot lower. And we really loved, it was so great to have all those active conversations in pretty much every single panel. I loved seeing that. So thank you to everyone who showed up, especially everyone who commented, but like lurkers, we love you. We love everyone who was there. Anybody who posted on social media and retweeted what we tweeted, everybody who helped spread word about the con. Thank you all so much. Massive thanks also to the people who contributed to Artist Alley, had their shops up there. I don't know if anyone saw a bump in sales this week. I've checked in with multiple authors, both who were in our various, like our sale or in our Artist Alley, and then other author friends who were not. Apparently everyone's sales tanked this week, regardless of whether or not they were in the con.
If you can see this, sorry, just to be sad for a minute. Like, he wants to get into bed because he's a complete idiot.
Oh,
is that the most spoiled cat you've ever seen?
That is adorable. I guess you can call it spoiled, but that's adorable.
Yeah. Sorry, I could just see him trying to fight his way under the blanket there, and I was just like, oh.
Just make it a show so as we don't just watch Pam walk away, that we get to see the whole thing.
Yeah.
So if you joined, if you joined in something that was supposed to have helped your sales this week and it didn't work, my sincerest apologies, but it didn't work for me either. I have no idea what happened. I'm sorry. But thank you all for being willing to participate in our sale and in our Artist Alley and things like that. Meanwhile, so that was the people who watched, all the panelists and moderators, etc. Huge thank you to our volunteers. And when we get to the volunteers, I am now actually going to name names because these people are the heart of QuaranCon. This is a thing that would not happen without them. And I cannot thank them enough. But just as a general intro to this, the people who are doing this, the people who are making QuaranCon happen behind the scenes, all have day jobs. Some of those day jobs are writing full-time, but a lot of them aren't. So people are balancing day jobs with their own writing careers and volunteering for us, and it's a huge commitment. Even the folks whose commitment is kept to the 5 days of the con, it's a huge commitment, but a lot of us, it's a huge commitment running up to the con too. So just like, if you can picture however busy you are in your own life and now add like at least or like 10 to 60 hours a week of volunteering on top of that, depending on who we're talking about. At the top of that list, the closer to 60 hours a week, we're looking at Pam, whose amazing scheduling powers. I'm sorry you're here, but I'm talking about you anyway. You can hide your face if you like. Pam does the scheduling. She's a wizard. It's something my brain literally cannot do. If she didn't do it, I would maybe be able to track down somebody else, but I would be afraid. So huge thank you to Pam. The scheduling is, we're talking, again, those 111 people that participated directly, over 10 time zones, over 5 days, we had 53 events, I think, 54 or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, for the total of the convention. She made that all happen. I don't know how she did it. I insist that magic was involved. And so please, everyone, huge thank you, huge round of applause to Pam, because my goodness.
No, it was worth it. At the end of the day, everyone seems to have had such a great time, and I've received lots of really lovely messages from people emailing and things.
Send her more lovely messages, people. More.
No, that's not ahead. No,
no, I want them to do it. It's coming from me. I demand more lovely messages to Pam.
But no, but just saying they had so much fun, and again, they were like, oh, let's do it next year, so that's part of why I'm happy to do it, because people had a great time, and when it all runs and you see people chatting and learning and sharing, it's totally worth it. So yeah, I'm happy.
That's pretty fantastic. Well, and it's, I mean, I don't know what we do without you. So Pam, everyone. Next up, I would be remiss if I did not also mention Noor Al-Shanti, who did a huge amount of work with our social media, took over social media when I was in the middle of having a panic attack, and not an actual panic attack at the time. I did have a couple days of near anxiety attack that was largely unrelated because I was also editing a book. But anyway,
you timed it brilliantly for yourself.
Oh, like, former me is dead to me. She's a jerk. But Noor is not a jerk. Noor is an amazing human being, and he stepped up and took over our social media accounts. If you saw well-composed social media posts with beautiful imagery and intelligent language, that was Noor. If you saw tweets and Facebook posts that looked like a drunken monkey did them, that was me. But Noor, for the most part, took over all of our social media and did an amazing job with it, and also was very much involved in the early selection of panels and topics for the majority of the content. The content. Sorry. Terrible jokes. I should not talk.
No, continue, please.
So massive thank you to Noor. More massive thank yous go to TL Greylock, ML Wong, and EL Drayton, all of whom are fellow tech moderators. If you were on a panel or anything, if you were involved in QuaranCon at all in person, you interacted with one of us. And the people who do that, there's no way I could have done it all. Like, I do some of it, I do maybe a quarter of it, but we'd all be sitting here staring at blank screens if not for these folks volunteering their time. It's huge commitment over the course of the weekend.
Yeah, they were absolute stars.
5 days. Also, Sonia Black. This is one of those totally under the radar tech things that we do. We have a website. You've probably seen it. I do some of the work for the website. I do some of the design. That's why it's not great. And I do some of the data entry. But Sonia Black just like knocked out in a couple of days all the data entry for the artist alley and putting in panelist info and stuff. Just like, she did amazing work and a huge amount of it. So thank you so much, Sonia. And AM Justice does a huge amount of just sort of like odds and sods volunteer work for us, including organizing some contests and doing like hiring the goats and just sort of generally, she's a generally helpy person.
And
in addition
things like when I ran out of kind of energy to kind of contact people for readings. You know, she picked up the slack and emailed people. David Green
also jumped in on that.
You're probably going to get to
anyway.
No,
no, but that's perfect, because actually I was gonna mention him in conjunction with Pam for that bit. So perfect. Like that was exactly when I was gonna say it. So you're on point. So thanks so much to Amanda Justice and David Green for that. I would also like to thank JC Kong, who is a moderator and panelist for the majority of stuff, but I want to just point out John Kong did some amazing recruitment for us and sort of pulled these two spectacular star-studded panels out of nowhere. I mean, out of himself and the people that he is in contact with. And knowing how much work goes into that when we do it, the fact that he sort of put together these two panels, obviously with Pam's help, but also with, you know,
no,
like
he pulled all the panelists for them, almost all of them. So
yeah,
you know.
So that was amazing. So I just wanted to give him a shout out for that, because those were really great panels. I enjoyed the heck out of those, and that much recruiting on our behalf is amazing. I think I do want to thank all of our judges again. If anyone would like the judges named explicitly, then I will direct you to, again, the amazing contest announcement video that has the goats eating the thing, eating the best worst line, the thing.
The thing.
But the thing.
Well, it's an X thing now.
That's right. This is no longer a thing, but it was briefly. And please go check that out. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, and the rubric thing, if anybody wants that, I actually didn't get a chance to check chat. Did anybody want to see that?
I have no idea, but
I'll check back when the chat loads
when it finally comes back 12 hours from now.
I'll check, and I'll make that available to people who asked, to maybe post it on the website or something.
Yeah, we can post it on the website. So I believe, am I missing anyone yet, Pam, for thank yous?
I don't think so. I feel like I should just pop into Discord just to check.
That's what I was doing earlier. I just checked all the names. Like, is that everybody who actually? The thing is, we had a slight shift in the people who helped out last year, the people who helped out this year. Some people who were planning on helping out this year wound up having conflicts and they couldn't do it. So I'm part of me is worried that I'll have forgotten someone who was helping earlier and then had to stop because of their work or whatever. But I believe that's everybody.
I think that's it. Yeah, we sort of said it was to say about David Green, who had originally come on as a judge and then just picked up loads of slack.
And we just like threw him a bunch of assignments.
Kept throwing things at him, and he's like, yeah, and he just caught everyone and just like, sure, you know, what a sweetie.
I did mention afterwards, I was like, you know, we got a spot if you'd like to come join us for the back end of making QuaranCon happen. He's like, oh yeah, I might too. So you might get him as a permanent helper. But
nail him down while you can.
Basically, yeah, exactly. Basically, to absolutely everyone, if you had anything to do with QuaranCon, running it, watching it, etc., we send you our love and appreciation, because this was a brilliant experience. I loved it. It always warms my heart. It warmed my heart this year even more than last year, and it's amazing. So along those lines, if you are sitting there at home thinking, great, what can I, like, QuaranCon was great, I had such a great time, what can I do to support it? Let me go over a couple ways that you can do that. These will be the last things we talk about, and then we'll be on our way. The first thing you can do is you can throw money at us. Right now, absolutely all of the expenses of the con have come out of my pocket, Pam's pocket, Amanda's pocket, a couple of people's pockets. So you can donate to our Ko-fi account. It is ko-fi.com/QuaranCon 2020, I believe. I might have tried to update it to 2021, so if 2020 doesn't work, try that. But the link is on our website. So if you go to QuaranCon 2020.
And it's KOFI, isn't it?
It is KO dash. There's a hyphen in it. But if you go to our website, which is QuaranCon2021.com, it's also 2020.com, both of them, we own them both. Go there, and then there's a big blue button that says donate to our Ko-fi account. So click on that and feel free to throw us some money. Basically, everything that we get through that goes to paying off our expenses. Once we've paid off our expenses, we donate the rest to charity. So we're not out to take your money, and I don't even know what we would do with it for profiting. We might keep some excess to use to make the anthology even better. So there's always that. We will be running the anthology. Keep an eye out for that. Of course, we'll blast it all over social media when it's ready. And then we would love for as many people to can and are willing to buy it. So that's another way you can support us. You can also buy merch. We've got QuaranCon stuff, and we've got it through Zazzle, which is a bit more friendly to people outside of the US. And we've got Teespring, which is a bit cheaper overall. But Teespring has also been kind of weird lately. So if you don't want to use them, we've got the Zazzle stuff. I'd like to get up even more versions of our merch on different stores that are more friendly to international purchases. But this is what we got up right now, is Zazzle and Teespring. So feel free to buy merch. We've got coffee mugs, we've got hoodies, we've got tank tops. It looks like there are fewer options than there actually are. If you click on any of the one designs, you'll see like a whole list of options. So if you like click on the hoodie, then suddenly there's like 20 different hoodies that you can actually choose from instead of just the one hoodie. Similarly, there's a bunch of different tank tops and t-shirts, etc. We've tried to be as inclusive as possible with sizing, but it's, you know, the companies that make them only do as much as they do. So we've maxed out our options there. And apologies if those don't work. Please let us know if there's a particular shop that you would like us to load our artwork onto, that you know is a print on demand site, and that is good for you, either because of where it is or what sizes it uses. I would love to have more options for that, but I'm limited by what I know, which is not that much. So please let us know about that. But donate to the coffee account, buy our merch. The merch, again, we have very small profit margins on that, but what little profit we make comes to us, pays off our expenses, and then again, anything we have past our expenses goes on to be donated. And I typically donate to Doctors Without Borders in hopes of supporting all their efforts to help people with illness all over the world. I think, my goodness, I've actually done most of the list. Noor is helping me put together an exit survey, which we will be posting to the website, and we'll also send out to the newsletter. And basically, we're just sort of asking for feedback. And we'd like to know what you think we could do better. We're not promising we'll do it, but we'd love to know what it is. There are certain things that we're very concerned with doing well, and there are other things we're less concerned about doing well. Basically, if whatever you're telling us needs to happen is going to require a lot of money, it's unlikely to happen.
Things like the closed captioning, wasn't it, that we really wanted to do last year and this year, but cost prohibitive. It's just not. Yeah, thousands of dollars. I think you said it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's just not money that we have to do that. And while we would love to and completely value it and see the importance of it, and being an accessible con and inclusive con is something that we do aspire to, in 20 years time, when we are a super con, we will no doubt do it then.
If we're still doing this in 20 years, well, actually, I mean, maybe it'll be amazing. I don't know. That scares me. But
yeah, I suspect we'll have a bigger team by then, though.
Okay.
So it'll be fine. We'll have offices, and there'll be offices somewhere, and it'll be cool. It'll be fine.
That's a terrifying thought. But no, when we would love to do closed captioning better than we do. And even this year, I've just noticed that I don't know if it's something with the settings. We're supposed to have auto captioning with YouTube. It's not working at the moment. I'm gonna figure out how to fix that, because I don't. I very much want everyone to be able to experience the con, especially people who need closed captioning. But we're gonna figure that out as we can, because that is YouTube is weird about it, apparently, and I thought our default was to have closed captioning on, but that doesn't appear to be the case when I checked it recently. So very, very sorry if you were unable to keep up with things, because I accidentally flipped a switch somewhere, and I plan on flipping it back. And I hope that you're able to watch everything later. It's possible that it's just not available while it's processing, that it was available while things were live, and it'll go back to being available once it's done processing. YouTube is weird about the whole processing thing, so who knows?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think we should probably let everyone run away.
Is there anybody still there?
There's a couple people hanging out.
Oh no,
people are lovely.
Hi guys.
Zach. Hi Lois.
Nice.
Hi Dave.
Crystal, Misty. Hi.
Corey, my husband's there. Hey Corey. Crystal.
My other half is asleep, or certainly in bed.
Fair. It is much later where you are. So thank you so much to everyone who's here right now, and everyone who's been watching the con in general. One other way that you can support the con is all our volunteers happen to be authors. I guess that's not surprising when you think of the content of the con, and the kind of community that we're coming from and representing. But every single person that I've listed, I think, is an author themselves. And so what you can do is buy our books. That is another great way to support the convention, because we're all donating a bunch of time. And all this time that we've spent working on the convention, we have not spent marketing our own books or writing our own books. And so an absolutely lovely way to do that is to buy our books. And you can find a list. I'm planning on putting a credits page up with all the people who are involved in organizing the con on the website, because I think that's important. But pretty much everybody who was involved in the back end of the con also has a front-facing thing on the panelists, but not quite everyone. There are a few people who don't. So I'll make sure that those people get recognition as well. But please buy our books. That would be lovely. I've got a new release coming out May 7th. It's called Cyro's Claw, and I'm very excited about it. It's up for pre-order.
Show them the front cover.
Okay, fine. I'll do it.
Do it.
Okay.
So pretty.
It is. Let's mirror. There we go. So whoop, this side.
Other way.
There we go. So this is the cover to Cyro's Claw. Please, if you want to pre-order it, that would be amazing. Pre-orders are huge for book launches. They count massively. It's only $4.99, and it's available on. It's wide. It's available everywhere. So it's not just on Amazon, but just about everywhere that you want to buy books. And the pre-order for the physical copy will be going up next week. It's basically had to wait till I was done with this convention. So that's happening soon. So, if that's a thing that you feel like doing, I would appreciate it greatly.
Well, I'm definitely doing. I want a paper one though. I like the paper.
Okay, I'm working on it. It'll be up by the end of the week. Okay. So anyway, those are ways you can support us, and thank you so much for wanting to support us. We love that. And I think that's it. I think we're done. We're done. But we're just done. My brain is done. That's for sure. My daughter brought me a beer out of the fridge that I have not yet opened.
That is a brilliant daughter. Well trained.
Yes. She may have been spurred on by my husband. I don't know, but I don't care. It's a good call either way. But seriously, thank you, everyone. I'm going to stop talking now, but we love you all, and we really appreciate everyone being here. Thank you so much to the people who are saying gorgeous cover. Appreciate it.
And they're so right.
Any last thoughts, Pam?
No, just mirroring what you've said, and thank you absolutely everybody. And since she didn't thank herself, I feel it's incumbent upon me to do so, to say a huge thank you to Virginia Maclean, because this was her brainchild when her brain was still working. And back when, in the last year, and it was just an impulse, I think, at the time, because we're like, nobody was going anywhere. And she put it on Twitter and everybody went, that's a brilliant idea. We want to do that. And it's grown from there. So I think that, if it wasn't for Virginia, this wouldn't even have been a thing in the first place. So I think we owe a lot to her. And she has run herself ragged and driven herself to madness at times, with questions coming at her from everybody, and, editing a whole book while, being a mum and doing all the things and investing in dry shampoo. And but no, she's done a huge amount, and a lot of people, I sort of, to give you some time, that stepped in for a day or two, and there was 1,000 questions coming at me from a lot of different areas, and that was on top. And this is what she's experiencing all the time, so she does a lot. And I think, for Virginia, and I'm sure you're all doing that, but it wouldn't be anything without her. So I'm going to say, from everybody watching, readers, moderators, tech mods, artists, we all say thank you very much to you. So
thanks. That was very sweet.
And totally correct.
I'm not going to argue. I'm biting my tongue. Thank you for the appreciation. And thanks again to everyone watching and everyone who participated in every possible way. Y'all are amazing. And we'll see you at the next one.
Definitely. Right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Are we?